Imagine being transmigrated into the Naruto world as an Uchiha before the Third Great Shinobi War. How would you survive the upcoming war, Danzo's schemes, and ultimately the Uchiha massacre? But fear not, you are given, let's say, a cheat in the form of a system. That's right. This series follows the life of a boy transmigrated into the Uchiha clan and fighting his way up to become Hokage and ultimately the god of the Shinobi world. But before we get into the series, guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, and hit that naughty bell.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
For years before the birth of Naruto, Uchiha Fugaku stood on a high platform within the Uchiha clan compound, accompanied by the elders of the Uchiha family. Fugaku began speaking. You must all have heard that the Third Shinobi War has started. This time Konoha is under siege from almost all the major villages, and the Hokage has requested our Uchiha clan to fight on the front lines and defend against the attacks from Kurigaka. Therefore, I urge each and every one of you to demonstrate your strength and prove why the Uchiha clan is considered the strongest clan in Konoha. As Fugaku's words resonated, conversations erupted among the members of the Uchiha clan. Yes, we will undoubtedly display our might and vanquish those wretches from Kurigaka, affirmed one of the Uchiha ninjas. Absolutely. I'm eager to unveil the power of my Sharingan, chimed in another ninja from the Uchiha clan. Observing the fervor among the Uchiha clan members, Fugaku nodded approvingly. However, their enthusiasm was abruptly interrupted by a voice. But why do I sense that the Uchiha clan is being sent to their doom? Expressed a 12-year-old boy with white hair. Fugaku's brows furrowed as he responded, Uchiha Karen, why do you harbor such thoughts? You really don't know. Then let me ask you directly, what are we Uchiha clan members skilled at? Uchiha Karen inquired sharply. We Uchiha excel in fire style techniques and possess the Sharingan, Fugaku truthfully replied. In that case, what counters fire style is water style, and Kurigaka is renowned for its water-based ninjutsu. Moreover, the Sharingan, which many Uchiha members have awakened, relies on eye contact to cast illusions. However, the fundamental ninjutsu taught to every Kurigaka ninja is the hidden mist technique, hindering the Sharingan's ability to gain insight and create illusions. Now, consider this. If the Uchiha participate in such battles, only the elite members of our clan will survive, while the rest of the average ninja will perish. This, in turn, will ultimately weaken our clan's strength, Uchiha Karen stated. After listening to Uchiha Karen's words, murmurs erupted among the members of the Uchiha clan. However, only the elite shonins and elders, who had already analyzed the situation and discussed it with Fugaku beforehand, remained silent and composed, refraining from speaking. Observing the clan members doubting and discussing amongst themselves, Fugaku looked at Karen intently. He knew that he had to reassure the clan members, or the situation would not end well. Thus, he spoke, Hokage-sama has assured us that after this Shinobi war, he will step down, and a new Hokage will be chosen. Our Uchiha clan will also be given the opportunity to participate in the selection process. Therefore, I ask you, Uchiha Karen, isn't it worthwhile to fight for glory and build a reputation that may lead to a Hokage being chosen from our clan? Upon hearing Fugaku's words, Karen nodded and replied, firstly, the Hokage has no right to prevent anyone from participating in the Hokage election. However, you are correct in emphasizing the importance of gaining fame and reputation, as it will help the people accept you as Hokage. Furthermore, it will be beneficial to have you as our leader in command, which alleviates my concerns. Karen spoke with a smile and a sense of relief evident on his face. As soon as Uchiha Karen's words fell, the expressions on the faces of the elders and elite shonins changed. They turned their inquiring eyes towards Fugaku, who maintained a stoic expression without speaking a word. Observing their peculiar behavior, confusion spread among the members of the Uchiha clan. Once again, Uchiha Karen broke the silence, saying, don't tell me you're not the leader in command for this war. Then we might as well be sewing wedding dresses for others. This time, Karen wore a mocking smile on his face. Upon hearing Karen's words, Fugaku also realized that saying anything further would be futile. He simply stated, the Hokage has instructed us to fight in the war, and if we refuse, it will be regarded as treason. Now you're using the right words. Don't sugarcoat it with phrases like Hokage requested our Uchiha clan to fight in the war. Just say, the Hokage has ordered us to fight, and we must comply. No need for any grandiose speeches about superiority, replied Uchiha Karen with a cold tone. Instead of informing the clan members about the true situation and preparing them for the impending battle, you're feeding them this nonsense about superiority. With that, Karen left without paying any heed to the Uchiha clan head. After Uchiha Karen's departure, every member of the Uchiha clan also left, murmuring among themselves. However, this time, they lacked enthusiasm and instead contemplated how to confront Kurigaka. Observing everyone depart, Fugaku remained silent, deep in thought. At that moment, a man in his 40s approached Fugaku and spoke. While my son's words may have been harsh, there is truth in what he said. Consider it carefully. With those words, he too left, leaving Fugaku to contemplate the situation. Uchiha Takoma's son is as fierce as ever. He never shows respect towards the clan head and always criticizes him without any fear, remarked Uchiha Takashi. Yes, but everything he says is logical and in the best interest of the clan, replied Uchiha Kazuki. Both Takashi and Kazuki were elders of the Uchiha clan, similar to Uchiha Takoma, whom they were discussing. Meanwhile, Karen ventured deep into the forest until he reached an open space where various training instruments were kept. Behind him, 5 individuals arrived and knelt on their knees, speaking in unison, Master Karen. Nakamura, Orochi, Mitsuda, Emiko, and Aiko. You have all been by my side for the past 6 years, and through your dedication in completing the tasks assigned by me, you have proven that I did not choose wrongly, expressed Karen. Master, everything we have achieved is thanks to your guidance. Showing our loyalty to you is the least we can do, said Aiko, while standing up, and everyone else also nodded after hearing the words of Aiko. Karen nodded in acknowledgement after hearing the words of Aiko. He then asked, tell me, all of you, about your progress in training. I have mastered the first 3 forms of thunder breathing, and my Sharingan has evolved to the 2 Tomo stage, Aiko replied, revealing her 2 Tomo Sharingan. I have also mastered the first 3 forms of wind breathing, and my Sharingan has reached the 2 Tomo stage, Orochi responded, displaying his 2 Tomo Sharingan. I have successfully mastered the first 3 forms of flame breathing, and my Sharingan has advanced to the 2 Tomo stage, Nakamura declared, showcasing his 2 Tomo Sharingan. I have achieved mastery in the first 3 forms of water breathing, and my Sharingan has also progressed to the 2 Tomo stage, Emiko stated, exhibiting her 2 Tomo Sharingan. I have achieved mastery in the first and second forms of stone breathing, and my Sharingan has reached the 2 Tomo stage, Mitsuda announced, displaying his 2 Tomo Sharingan. After listening to the progress made by all of them, Karen was pleased and said, you all are very good. With your mastery over the Sharingan and physical strength, your abilities are no less than special Jonin. And with the breathing technique, you can even defeat Jonins in a fight. Come, show me what you've got and let me see your progress since last time, said Uchiha Karen, beckoning them to fight him. In the midst of the forest, in an open space, Karen confronted the others. Tension hung heavy in the air as they prepared for an intense clash. Karen exuded an aura of unparalleled confidence. His eyes, with the 3 Tomo, locked onto Nakamura, Orochi, Mitsuda, Emiko, and Aiko. The first challenger, Aiko, lunged at Karen with thunder-breathing first form, Thunderclap and Flash. But before her blow could reach Karen, he effortlessly sidestepped, countering with a swift kick that sent her sprawling backward. Her confidence shaken, Aiko struggled to regain her composure. Out, said Karen. Suddenly, the grass around Karen started growing, trying to bind him. Jinjutsu, you used it when I was looking at all of you, right? But don't forget that I have 3 Tomo Sharingan illusion rebound. As soon as Karen's words fell, Nakamura was covered by grass, and Karen was standing in front of him with a smile on his face. Out, said Karen. The remaining 3 ninjas, Emiko, Mitsuda, and Hiroshi joined forces. Their combined strength and coordinated attacks aimed to overwhelm Karen. Yet, even against their synchronized assault, Karen proved untouchable. He moved with a fluidity that defied their expectations, swiftly evading their strikes, while retaliating with calculated precision. Emiko's swift shuriken assault was deflected effortlessly by Karen's keen reflexes. Mitsuda used Earth Release, Earth Dragon Bullet in response, and Karen countered with Fire Release. Great Fireball technique. A huge ball of fire collided with the Earth Release and neutralized it. If someone saw Karen releasing the ninjutsu, they would be horrified, as Karen didn't use any hand seals. Karen maneuvered gracefully, exploiting the openings in Mitsuda's defense, and kicked him in the stomach. Out, said Karen. From behind, Emiko attacked Karen with water-breathing first form, Water Surface Slash. Karen turned around and said, let me show you the real way to do it. After saying that, Karen also drew his katana and used the same move, easily cancelling Emiko's slash and attacking her. Emiko had to evade, but as soon as she landed, a sword was placed on her neck. Out, Karen's voice fell again. Hiroshi attacked Karen with wind-breathing first form, Dust Whirling Cutter, But Karen also used wind-breathing third form, Clean Storm Wind Tree. A barrier of wind was formed around Karen's body, easily stopping Hirashi's attack, and making him fall to the ground, with Karen's sword placed on his neck. Karen's dominance over his subordinates was apparent as he swiftly defeated each one of them with calculated ease. Their attacks were effortlessly deflected, countered, and neutralized, leaving them in a state of awe and defeat. As his subordinates gathered their composure, they couldn't help but admire Karen's mastery of his techniques. His skill with the Sharingan, coupled with his physical prowess, made him a formidable force to be reckoned with. They realized that their progress, though impressive, paled in comparison to Karen's abilities. With their heads held high, they gracefully accepted their defeat, knowing that their encounter with Karen had only made them stronger. They would return to their training, inspired to reach new levels of mastery, and to one day challenge Karen once again. I am pleased with your progress. With this strength, I can be relieved about your safety. Anyways, I will try to keep all of you near me. With my father's authority, it's the very least I can do, said Karen. Yes, master, we will do our best and let our name resound throughout the battlefield, said Emiko with confidence on her face. Similarly, all others also had a confident look on their faces. Karen nodded after hearing the words and confidence of his subordinates and said, now go and prepare for tomorrow. We will be leaving for the battlefield tomorrow. Yes. After speaking, all 5 of them left. Just as they left, Karen's father, Uchiha Takoma, arrived and saw Karen practicing. You really aren't going to let me have a day of peace, are you? Said Takoma. Although his voice may have sounded angry, it contained a sense of pampering. Without stopping his training, Karen spoke. So, you're not here to stop me from going to the battlefield, are you? No, this time I can't stop you. Firstly, because the battlefield requires genin to fight, and since you are a genin, I can't stop you. Secondly, after you questioned the clan head today and directly questioned the Hokage's intentions, even if I could persuade Fugaku, the Hokage would definitely find a way to send you, said Takoma with helplessness in his voice. Until today, he hadn't let Karen take risks or even leave the village. From Karen's childhood, he always trained him at home, and after Karen became a genin at the age of 10, Takoma kept him in the police force to ensure he wouldn't have to face danger. Even if Karen gets into trouble, Takoma can protect him within the village. Karen stopped his training and walked up to Takoma, standing in front of him. He nodded as if understanding something taught by an elder to a junior. Seeing Karen's reaction, Takoma's face immediately filled with displeasure. You brat, I am your father. Don't look at me as if you taught me something. I am the one who taught you everything, said Takoma, throwing a punch at Karen. But Karen easily dodged it and said, I am pleased that you are finally starting to see the true face of the Hokage. My dream is to let everyone, especially your clan, know the true face of the Hokage. Takoma was stunned after hearing his son's words, but then he nodded. Son, I've known since your childhood that you're smart. You are the last memory of your mother that I have, so take care on the battlefield. I will instruct some ninjas under me to protect you, said Takoma, tears welling up in his eyes. Don't cry like a baby every time. I promise no one will be able to harm me on the battlefield, said Karen. I won't be able to go to the battlefield. The clan head has appointed me as the captain of the Uchiha police force, said Takoma. Karen nodded and said, you also take care. Although this village seems to be the safest place, it is also the most dangerous, especially for our Uchiha clan. Okay, enough babbling for today. Now go, I have to train. After saying this, Karen went to continue his training. Takoma looked at Karen's back and smiled helplessly, then left. After completing his training, Karen sat under a tree and said, System, show me my character panel. Ding. Generating character panel. Right brace. Name, Uchiha Karen Bloodline. Indra Bloodline, 70% Bloodline limit. Sharingan, 3 Tomo, Chakra. Jonin Strength. Elite Jonin abilities. Ninjutsu, Earth Style, Water Style, Wind Style, Fire Style, Thunder Style, Sun Breathing and its derived breathing. Stress passive effect of system. Blood refining. Karen nodded in satisfaction after seeing his character panel. Karen looked at the sky and muttered, it's been 12 years since I arrived in this ninja world. I have trained for so many years, especially for this third Shinobi war. It will be a stage for me to gain reputation and fame. Only after achieving that will I be able to challenge the position of clan head and officially take my place as the clan head. Suddenly, he felt the sensation of someone's prying gaze on him, but he couldn't detect any presence within his perception. Then, he looked up at the sky and understood. He raised his middle finger towards the sky and said slowly, fuck you. At that time, Hiruzen was using a crystal ball and saw Uchiha Karen showing him the middle finger. He didn't care about Uchiha Karen's behavior as he considered it childish, but he wasn't expecting Uchiha Karen's ability to perceive his peeping through the crystal ball. Only a few people in Konoha can perceive his peeping through the crystal ball jutsu, and all of them are almost at cage level. In the meeting room, Hiruzen wasn't alone. His friends Danzo, Hamura Mitakado, and Kaharu Utatane were also present. Kaharu said, "This bastard knows that you must be the Hokage, and yet he dared to do such a thing." Danzo said, "What would you expect from a member of the evil clan?" "Enough, Danzo. He is just a child," said Hiruzen. "Is he? Based on what he did today, if given time to grow, he might cause a rebellion against Konoha. He must be removed," said Danzo. "Yes, Hiruzen, I agree. Uchiha Karen must be removed, or else he might plant the seeds of rebellion in every Uchiha's mind," said Hamura. "I understand, but you must consider whose son he is. If he dies at a time like this, Takoma can almost remove half of the Uchiha clan members from the battlefield, and none of us would like to see that," said Hiruzen calmly. "Leave such matters to me. If I can make the Senju clan disappear, then what is Uchiha Karen?" said Danzo with a cruel smile on his face. Hiruzen looked at Danzo with a stern expression and said, "Do not repeat such things again." Seeing Hiruzen's stern face, Danzo nodded helplessly. The next morning at the village gate, almost 600 Uchiha clan members were assembled, along with 1,200 civilian ninjas, ready to go to the battlefield. At that moment, the Hokage arrived with his advisors and the heads of different clans. Additionally, his 3 apprentices were accompanied by Minato, the rising star among them. "I am pleased to see that the Uchiha clan has taken this battle seriously and sent so many skilled ninjas," said Hiruzen to Fugaku. "Konoha village is also a village, so it is our duty to protect it," replied Fugaku. Hiruzen nodded with a smile upon hearing Fugaku's words. Suddenly, a voice rang out, "Yeah, unlike some clans that stay hundreds of miles away from the battlefield, in the name of protecting the daimyo and ministers." As soon as the voice spoke, everyone's expression changed. Takoma's face twitched, and he secretly cursed, "This bastard." It was none other than Uchiha Karen. "What do you mean by that?" asked Kaharu, her face growing cold. "Nothing, really. One of them was our second Hokage, who fought bravely alongside his clan members, sacrificing himself and countless Senju clan members. And here, his students' families are far from danger, with his students sitting quietly in their offices, talking about the will of fire," Karen said, spreading his hands. "Bastard, haven't your parents taught you anything? Take him down on charges of trying to confuse the ninjas and instigate infighting," Kaharu said. As soon as Kaharu finished speaking, the Anbu ninjas moved to capture Karen. However, almost half of the Uchiha clan members drew their weapons, ready to fight. "Since when does someone have the guts to touch my son?" a voice sounded behind Kaharu. Takoma was standing there. Kaharu turned around to see Takoma's 3 Tomo Sharingan, and upon seeing it, she started shouting, "No, stay away from me. No, don't come near me. Ugh." With this scream, she urinated on the ground and passed out. "Disgusting. Pathetic weakling," Takoma said, remaining still the whole time. Takoma used demonic illusion, shackling stakes technique enough. "Takoma, let her go," said Hiruzen, ready to attack. "No one can touch my son, so control your subordinates, or else I don't mind killing them," Takoma said, prepared to fight at any moment. Hiruzen signaled to the Anbu members, and they left, causing the Uchiha members to also lower their weapons. However, with Uchiha Karen's question, everyone's gaze shifted somewhat towards Hiruzen, and he knew that if he didn't send his clan members to the battlefield, he would be seen as an inferior Hokage compared to the first and second Hokages. "It's not like no ninja from our clan is going to participate. After a few months, half of the clan members will be joining the war, because the protection of the daimyo can't be neglected like this," said Hiruzen. Karen scoffed in response, and Hiruzen was not in the mood to give a speech on the will of fire. He simply said, "Everyone, give your best in this battle, as we have our respective families to protect." After saying that, Hiruzen left with his advisors, and Kaharu was sent to the Konoha hospital. Takoma approached Karen and said helplessly, "You, kid, you really know how to cause trouble." After that, Karen departed with the army. Takoma looked at his retreating figure and let out a helpless sigh. Then, he turned towards the Uchiha ninjas and said, "Go and keep an eye on every move of the Anbuan route. It has been a day since the army of Konoha arrived at the border of the Fire Country." At this moment, Uchiha Karen and his followers were sitting in his tent discussing something when a ninja came outside his tent. "Come in," said Karen. The ninja entered and said, "Uchiha Karen, the commander-in-chief has given orders to patrol the periphery of the stronghold with your team." Karen nodded and took the scroll containing the orders from the commander-in-chief. He read it and noticed that it was signed by Terufu Akamichi. "Okay, I will patrol the periphery of our stronghold regularly and at the assigned time," he said. After saying that, he handed the scroll to his subordinates for them to read. After Karen acknowledged the order, the informing ninja left. As soon as the ninja left, Aiko said, "This is a pure conspiracy to assign you to patrol the periphery of the stronghold, and on top of that, at night. It is clearly a conspiracy." "Yeah, I agree with Aiko," said Amiko. Others also chimed in and affirmed what Aiko had said. "Seeing all of you arguing like this, I am wondering if I am weak. or if you all lack confidence in your strength, said Uchiha Karen. Hearing Karen's words, everyone present was startled and lowered their heads in shame. Sorry, Master Karen. We didn't mean that. We were just concerned about you. No need to worry about me. Focus on your training rather than worrying about me, said Karen. After receiving their orders, they left Uchiha Karen's tent. At night, Uchiha Karen and his subordinates went to the assigned location where they had to patrol. When they arrived, they noticed the previous team leaving the place, wishing them luck. Once the previous team had left, Karen and his team continued their patrol. Somewhere in the forest, a team of 10 people dressed in ambu attire was traveling. The captain of the team spoke. Remember, our mission is to kill Uchiha Karen, the son of the elder and deputy captain of the police force. If we eliminate him, it may provoke an emotional response from Takoma's people. Ninja who are emotionally unstable are easier to defeat. So, remember, our mission is of utmost importance. The other Ambu ninjas nodded in agreement after hearing their leader's instructions. It had been 2 hours since Karen and his team started patrolling. At that moment, Karen, whose perception extended to around 700 meters, sensed the approach of 10 individuals in their direction. Among them were 2 Jonins, while the others were Chunins. Be alert, we have enemies, shouted Karen. Upon hearing Karen's words, his subordinates immediately became alert and waited patiently. At the same time, one of the elite Chunins, who was a sensory ninja, also detected the presence of the enemy team. He informed the captain, saying, "Captain, it appears that someone has already detected our presence. Regardless of the situation, we cannot disobey the orders of the Mizukage. You know the consequences," replied the mission captain. The Ambu members nodded in agreement after hearing the captain's words, and continued moving toward the location where Karen and his team were positioned. When they were only 100 meters away from Karen's team, the leading captain used the hidden mist technique, causing a dense mist to spread within a 100-meter radius. Karen's team found themselves enveloped in it. The leading captain said, "Go, don't leave a single one alive." On the other side, Karen said, "You all go ahead and fight the Chunins. Leave those Jonins to me." Upon receiving Karen's orders, they immediately took action. Although their vision was restricted due to the fog, they had practiced breathing techniques that enhanced their other senses, such as smell and hearing. They swiftly selected their targets and launched their attacks. From Aiko's point of view, as I approached the Chunin 20 meters away, I swiftly executed the thunder-breathing first form, thunderclap and flash. Before the enemy Chunin could react, his head was separated from his body, and I stood behind him, sheathing my katana. The sight of their comrade being killed so easily made the other Chunin immediately become serious and alert. I looked in his direction, assumed my breathing stance, and unleashed the thunder-breathing first form, thunderclap and flash again. However, this time the experienced Ambu Chunin managed to dodge, though he still lost his arm in the process. "You're lucky," I said, but I knew it wouldn't last. Without hesitation, I utilized the thunder-breathing third form, Thunder Swarm, executing 3 powerful combos. The Chunin was swiftly killed, unable to retaliate. From Emiko's point of view, I selected a Chunin and swiftly engaged him with the water-breathing first form, Water Surface Slash. As my attack connected, the Chunin attempted to parry it with his kunai. However, the sheer force behind my strike threw him back, nearly destroying his kunai in the process. In that moment, his attention shifted towards Aiko, who was in the midst of battling his teammate, creating an opening. Sensing the opportunity, I prepared to attack him, but before I could strike, he utilized the substitute technique, and a wooden log replaced the spot where I had aimed my attack. Turning my attention back to the Chunin, I found myself under a barrage of kunai being thrown in my direction. Without hesitation, I assumed my stance and employed the water-breathing third form, Flowing Dance. It was like a dance as I effortlessly cut through every kunai, and in a final swift motion, I severed both his hands and his head. From Nakamura's point of view, facing Nakamura were 2 Chunin ninjas. Without hesitation, Nakamura dashed towards them, employing the flame-breathing first form, Unknowing Fire. His speed was overwhelming, catching the less experienced Chunin off guard. In a swift motion, Nakamura separated his head from his body, leaving the lifeless corpse to be consumed by the flames. However, the other Chunin proved to be an elite Chunin, skilled and experienced. Sensing the danger, he swiftly utilized the body flicker technique, evading Nakamura's attack, and managing to keep himself safe. The elite Chunin's body was covered in cold sweat as he witnessed the miserable death of his teammate. Despite the shock, he knew that abandoning the mission was not an option. Determined to fight, he used the body flicker technique once again, closing the distance between them and launching an attack with his kunai. But Nakamura was not one to be outdone. With quick reflexes, he countered the elite Chunin's attack, unleashing the flame-breathing second form, Rising Scorching Sun. His sword, coming from the tail guard, sliced through the elite Chunin, cutting him in half and putting an end to the fight. From Hiroshi's point of view, standing before Hiroshi was an elite Chunin. Without hesitation, Hiroshi unleashed the wind-breathing first form, dust-whirling cutter dashing at the Chunin with incredible speed, akin to a raging hurricane. The Chunin attempted to evade using the body flicker technique, but the velocity of Hiroshi's attack left several small wounds on his body. Relentless, Hiroshi pressed on, not giving the Chunin a moment to catch his breath. Employing the wind-breathing second form, claws purifying wind, Hiroshi unleashed 4 vertical slashes of wind resembling sharp claws towards the Chunin. Once again, the Chunin resorted to the body flicker technique to escape, but as he reappeared, he heard a voice. It was Hiroshi, who had materialized beside him. In an instant, Hiroshi employed the wind-breathing third form, Clean Stormwind Tree, unleashing a devastating attack. Within a meter radius around Hiroshi, both the Chunin's body and everything within 1 meter radius was mercilessly severed. The Chunin met his demise, his unwillingness evident until the very end. From Mitsuda's point of view, Mitsuda found himself facing 2 Chunins, and without hesitation, he launched his attack with his weapon, an axe and a spiked flail. Utilizing the stone-breathing first form, Serpentinite Bipolar, he swung his weapons with a grinding motion towards the Chunins. However, they managed to evade the attack just in time, giving them a chance to assess the situation. They witnessed one of their teammates being killed by Aiko, and the remaining Chunins were clearly at a disadvantage. Seizing the opportunity, one of the Chunins declared, "You deal with him. I'll go support the others." As he prepared to leave, his eyes suddenly caught sight of a spiked flail enlarging in his field of vision. Before he could react, he was swiftly struck down by the enlarged flail. It was Mitsuda who executed the stone-breathing second form, Upper Smash. The rebound speed of the flail was so fast that the Chunin met his demise before he could even react. The other Chunin, now covered in the blood of his fallen comrade, watched in horror as Mitsuda effortlessly separated the head from the body. Mitsuda had skillfully exploited the absent-mindedness of the Chunin, swiftly eliminating him with a single motion. Uchiha Karen stood there with his 3 Tomo Sharingan activated. In front of him were 3 Anbu members, 2 Jonin, and 1 elite Chunin. No one dared to meet Karen's gaze, well aware that looking into the eyes of an Uchiha meant being close to death. However, witnessing their subordinates and teammates being killed ignited a desire to support them, only to be halted by Karen. In a matter of minutes, one by one, every Anbu member who engaged with Karen's subordinates met their demise. Karen commented, "It seems my subordinates are more powerful. They have surpassed me in solving their enemies. I can't afford to fall behind, can I?" With these words, the remaining 3 adversaries were consumed by anger. A Jonin and a Chunin attacked Karen from both sides. In response, Karen employed the sun-breathing technique Raging Sun, slashing them twice. The strikes caused both of them to recoil in pain, not only from the cuts, but also from the burning sensation as their internal organs ignited. While they might not have died immediately from these slashes, their impending death was certain. Yet, they acknowledged that their sacrifice was worthwhile. The leading captain of the Anbu team expressed gratitude, saying, "Thank you for granting me this opportunity." The leading Jonin unleashed a water release, Cold Sky water attack, launching a barrage of water jets towards Karen. Observing the approaching water jets, Karen utilized the sun-breathing technique Burning Bones, Summer Sun, forming a massive spiral of fire horizontally in front of him that vaporized the water jets. "Let's bring this to an end," Karen declared. With these words, he employed sun-breathing technique Solar Heat Haze. As predicted by the Jonin, it seemed that Karen's blade would miss his neck. However, to his astonishment, it passed through the Jonin's neck, severing his head from his body. After killing all of their respective opponents, everyone gathered. Karen looked at them and said, "You all did really well." Everyone had smiles on their faces after hearing Karen's words. "Seal their bodies. After all, this is our first achievement in this battlefield," said Karen. After receiving the orders, with excitement of their first achievement, they immediately sealed the bodies of the Anbu members from Kurigaka. At dawn, Uchiha Karen and his team returned from patrol. First of all, they went to the logistics department and submitted the bodies of the Kurigaka Anbu. The in charge of logistics was also shocked, but after confirming its authenticity, and everyone from Karen's team honestly revealed whom they fought and killed, maybe we can find some information from their brains. "Thank you very much," said the head of logistics. Karen just nodded at this and left. At the same time, inside the tent of Commander-in-Chief Terufu Akimichi, he was contemplating how to proceed ahead. Suddenly, a ninja dressed in Anbu attire entered his tent and said, "Chief, there is news about Uchiha Karen." "How did he and his subordinates die?" asked Terufu Akimichi, as if he already knew that today was Karen's death date. "No, Chief. Uchiha Karen returned this morning with his team, and they also killed the members of Kurigaka Anbu. After our investigation, we found that among these 10 people, 2 were Jonin, and the rest were Chunin." "What? How is this possible? Were they some genin who were sent by Kurigaka to assassinate Karen?" exclaimed Terufu. "You know how difficult it is to qualify for the Anbu, let alone in Kurigaka. said the Anbu member. Hearing what the Anbu member said, Terufu was astonished. He couldn't believe it for a second, but then again, why would an Anbu member lie? So he asked, "Did you find anything from the head of those Kurigaka Anbu?" The Anbu member took out a scroll and handed it to Terufu, saying, "This is all the information we obtained from their deceased bodies." Terufu took the scroll and, upon seeing the battle details, although only a few were recorded, he was shocked. From this information, he could tell that the battle had been crushing. He couldn't believe that a team of 5, no older than 12 years old, had the strength to crush an elite Anbu team. "Is there anything else?" asked Terufu. "As you saw, the purpose of the Anbu members was to assassinate Uchiha Karen specifically. They knew in advance about his location, and you personally assigned him the task of patrolling. Now, the ninjas are speculating if you deliberately revealed Karen's location," said the Anbu member. Terufu stood up and said, "This is not good. If there is doubt among the army about their chief, it will be very bad." Then Terufu looked at the Anbu ninja and said, "Have you captured any spies within our stronghold?" "Yes, we captured one a few hours ago," replied the Anbu ninja. "You haven't charged him with anything yet, right?" asked Terufu uncertainly. "No, because of Karen's matter, we haven't been able to," the Anbu ninja responded. "Good, bring him here, and also inform the head of logistics to come see me," said Terufu. "Yes," the Anbu member said before promptly leaving the tent. After half an hour, the tent of the chief commander was filled with elite jonin and other important individuals, including Fugaku. Then, the Anbu member brought in the spy. Upon seeing the spy, Terufu addressed Mitakoto Yashima, the leader of logistics, and said, "Look at this spy. He is the one who leaked the information about Uchiha Karen, and it was stolen from your department." "Sorry, Chief. I will keep this in mind for next time, and ensure that such a thing never happens again," said Mitakoto Yashima. Terufu responded with a nod. Then he looked towards everyone present and said, "It seems Uchiha Karen has the strength of a jonin. But since he hasn't achieved much yet, he cannot be promoted at this moment. However, once Karen and his team accumulate more missions, I will promote them to Chunin. What do you all think?" Everyone nodded in agreement upon hearing Terufu's words. Fugaku also nodded in approval. After that, everyone left the chief's tent except for Fugaku. He remained behind and said, "From today onwards, I will need the list of Uchiha clan members' deployments. After today's incident, the members of the Uchiha clan have started doubting, and to dispel those doubts, I must have the list of their deployments." Upon hearing Fugaku's words, Terufu pondered for a moment. He knew that if he didn't grant Fugaku the right to access the list of Uchiha clan members, the blame of every death of Uchiha clan on a mission would be placed solely on him. So he replied, "No problem." After receiving the assurance, Fugaku left the tent. The news of Terufu capturing the spy and dispelling doubts among the civilian ninjas spread after his words. Uchiha Karen was also informed about Terufu's discovery of a spy from Kurigaka, who had leaked his information. However, Karen was well aware that Terufu was merely attempting to shift blame onto others in order to avoid suspicion from fellow ninjas. Once Fugaku became aware of the Uchiha clan's strategic positioning, the number of casualties within their ranks gradually declined in the subsequent days. As time passed 2 years later, the name of Uchiha Karen and his team resounded throughout the battlefield. They had gained immense renown for their exceptional skills, having independently vanquished 40 jonins, 150 chunins, and a multitude of genins. They became known as the Uchiha Hexad, with their leader, Uchiha Karen, earning the moniker of the Crimson Eye Demon due to his fearsome Sharingan abilities. The majority of the jonins fell victim to his lethal prowess, instilling fear in the hearts of other ninja teams. Meanwhile, Kurigaka focused their attention on capturing the Tea Country, while Sunagaka stood as their opposition, equally vying to claim the Tea Country for themselves. The battle remained at a stalemate, with neither side gaining a significant advantage. This was partly due to the suppression of the Uchiha clan's elites, ensuring they did not garner the same level of fame as Uchiha Karen and his team. Even Uchiha Karen and his team had not undertaken any noteworthy missions in the past 6 months. During their training, Uchiha Karen and his team were interrupted when an Anbu ninja suddenly arrived at their location. The Anbu ninja conveyed, "Uchiha Karen, the chief requests your presence in his tent for a meeting." Karen nodded in acknowledgement of the Anbu's message, and made his way to meet with Terufu, curious about what he had to discuss. Upon arriving at the tent, Karen noticed several jonins already present. He stood beside Fugaku, who nodded in his direction, reciprocating the greeting. Finally, Terufu entered the tent accompanied by the Anbu ninja, and positioned himself at the center. He began, "I have good news for all of you. Kurigaka's forces are diminishing as they appear to be shifting their focus towards the Tea Country." Upon hearing Terufu's words, the jonins nodded in understanding, aware that there was more to be revealed. Terufu continued, "The Tea Country has formed an alliance with the Fire Country, thus requiring our support. As a result, 200 of the Uchiha family's team will be deployed to the Tea Country battlefield. This is a direct order from the Hokage. and you need not worry. Additionally, a force of 2,000 ninjas from the Sarutobi, Mitakodo, and Shimura clans will join you. They will be led by Tarifu's gaze shifted towards Karen, and he spoke, the team of 200 ninjas will be led by you, Uchiha Karen. Furthermore, upon successful completion of this battle, you will be promoted to the rank of Elite Jonin from Elite Shunin. What are your thoughts on this? Karen maintained a composed expression as he replied, I have nothing to say. I will abide by the decision of the clan head. Tarifu then turned his attention to Fugaku and inquired, Clan head Fugaku, considering the circumstances of the ongoing battle, what is your opinion on this matter? Fugaku calmly met Tarifu's gaze and responded, I concur with the decision to deploy members of the Uchiha family to the T country. Tarifu's smile widened upon hearing Fugaku's response, and soon after, Fugaku and Karen departed to strategize and assemble the Uchiha ninja team. Walking side by side, Fugaku began the conversation. I expected you might raise concerns about the population disparity between our clan and the other 3 clans. Their numbers, despite being less than half of their original strength, still outnumber our Uchiha family. Karen's response came calmly. I saw no need to mention it, because lions do not concern themselves with the breeding pace of pigs. I have full confidence that if we unleash those 200 members of our family, they will wreak havoc upon the enemy. Fugaku nodded, acknowledging Karen's self-assurance. He then inquired, do you have a specific number in mind for the members you wish to take with you? Karen nodded affirmatively and replied, let us bring along 20 Jonins, 80 Chunins, and 100 Genins. They shall accompany us to the battlefield in the T country. Fugaku nodded, acknowledging the reasonableness and clarity of Karen's request. He responded, very well. I will inform the clan members to prepare for our departure tomorrow. Karen nodded in agreement, expressing his satisfaction with the plan, and then proceeded to leave, making his way directly to his tent. Upon reaching his tent, Karen was greeted by his subordinates, and among them, Aiko stepped forward, curiosity in her eyes. She inquired, Master Karen, what transpired in the meeting? Karen proceeded to describe everything that had been discussed, sharing the details with his team. He concluded with a serious tone, prepare yourselves, my comrades. The battles that lie ahead will be challenging and demanding. Aiko and the others took Karen's words to heart, fully understanding the gravity of the upcoming fight. They began to ready themselves mentally and physically for the tough battles that awaited them. The following day, a formidable team of 200 Uchiha ninjas gathered and assembled under the leadership of Karen. Most of the team members belonged to Uchiha Takoma's faction. They were preparing to head towards the T country battlefield. After a long day of travel, Karen commanded them to set up camp and rest for the night. The plan was to wait for the other clans to catch up, so they could proceed together. Upon receiving Karen's orders, the team swiftly constructed shelters for everyone within a few hours. Inside his tent, Uchiha Karen was preparing to sleep when a sudden uproar erupted outside. He swiftly rose to his feet, grasping his sword, and exited the tent. Outside, he was met by Amiko, who was running towards him in a rush. Master Karen, she said with a sense of urgency, an army of 500 ninjas from Kurigaka is heading our way. There are 300 approaching from the T country, and another 200 from the direction we came. Karen's expression turned solemn, his face reflecting his deep concern. It must be those despicable higher echelons from Konoha, Karen remarked with determination. However, he swiftly regained his composure, realizing that he couldn't afford to lose his calm at a critical time like this. Turning to Amiko, he inquired, what is the composition of their forces? Amiko swiftly replied, there are approximately 20 Genin, 80 Chunin, and 100 Genin trailing us, while in the opposite direction, we face 30 Genin, 50 Chunin, and the remaining Genin. Among the Genin, there are 3 members of the dreaded 7 Ninja Swordsmen. Absorbing this information, Karen nodded thoughtfully. While confident in his abilities to defeat all 3 Ninja Swordsmen, he knew it would take time. Consequently, he needed to allocate his forces strategically. Inhaling deeply, he made a firm decision. You, Aiko, and Hiroshi, along with the team of 8 Genin comprising 1 elite Genin, will divide the army in half and engage the forces approaching from our rear. As for me, I will lead the remaining Genin in confronting the army advancing from the T country. Acknowledging Karen's instructions, Amiko nodded and swiftly departed. Following Karen's guidance, she wasted no time in executing the orders, skillfully dividing the Uchiha clan members into 2 groups. Taking charge of 1 team, she set out to intercept the approaching enemy forces from the rear. Simultaneously, Nakamura assumed leadership of the other team and began their journey towards the T country. Along the way, Karen joined the army, his presence reinforcing their resolve. Simultaneously, a formidable team of 300 individuals, led by 3 renowned figures from Kurigaka, embarked on their journey towards the Uchiha camp. Among them were Jinin Akabino, the wielder of Kabuto Ori, Kushimaru Kuraira, who possessed Nabari, and JKZ Mbiwa, the formidable wielder of Kubikarubuch. As they made their way, JKZM Biwa addressed the team with a determined tone. Remember, everyone, our mission is to eliminate every single Uchiha ninja. We cannot afford to miss this golden opportunity, as it may not present itself again anytime soon. But what if the other clans from Konoha's army interfere? Questioned one of the team members. JKZM Biwa responded confidently, no need to worry. They have been resting for a day and will only resume their movement tomorrow. Jin and Akabino expressed skepticism, saying, isn't it too coincidental? Disregarding the concern, JKZM Biwa emphasized, who cares about coincidences? Our primary goal is to weaken Konoha. Killing that crimson-eyed demon will not only achieve that, but also enhance our reputation. Indeed, I've heard rumors that there's someone in his team wielding a weapon similar to mine, Jin and Akabino exclaimed, his eyes gleaming with excitement. I'm eagerly anticipating the opportunity to face them in combat. Finally, the two sides converged, standing firmly opposite each other. Jin and Akabino grasped his sword tightly, his gaze fixed upon Mitsuda, prepared to engage him in battle at any given moment. In this critical moment, Karen's voice resounded loudly, reaching everyone present. I am aware that their numbers outnumber us, but remember, we are Uchiha. Fight with unwavering focus, ensuring our survival and the survival of our comrades. Attack with all your strength. Upon hearing Karen's words, a wave of determination surged through every Uchiha present, igniting their spirits. With resolute shouts, they charged forward, racing towards the Kurigake ninjas to launch their fierce assault. Meanwhile, Karen locked eyes with the members of the Seven Swordsmen and spoke with a tinge of gratitude. I must express my appreciation to you for gathering your Junin in one location. Assuming a formidable stance, Karen unleashed the sun-breathing dancing flash technique, his speed so astonishing that the members of the Seven Swordsmen barely had time to comprehend his words. In a blur of crimson, 15 Junin heads were severed and suspended in mid-air within a matter of seconds. With utmost composure, Uchiha Karen calmly sheathed his sword behind the group of Junin, his presence radiating a sense of unrivaled strength. Witnessing Karen's astonishing speed, the three ninja swordsmen found themselves drenched in cold sweat. Jin and Akabino couldn't help but remark, is this speed any less impressive than that of the third Raikage? Karen, after sheathing his sword, addressed the 12 Jonins and his subordinates, saying, I have reduced the number of Jonins to almost match your own, and as Uchiha family Jonins. It shouldn't be a problem for all of you to handle them swiftly. Turning his attention to the three members of the Seven Swordsmen, Karen declared, I will personally deal with these three fools. Filled with determination, Nakamura responded, Master Karen, we will not disappoint you. Without hesitation, he sprang into action, selecting a Jonin to engage. This time, Nakamura was serious and immediately activated his Sharingan. Inspired by his actions, everyone else followed suit. Jin and Akabino, eager to confront Mitsuda in combat, was about to intervene, but Karen halted him, preventing any unnecessary clashes. Juzo Biwa unleashed the dreaded hidden mist technique, enveloping Karen and the three ninja swordsmen in a dense mist. Reacting swiftly, Karen retrieved his shurikens and executed the fire release. Phoenix Sage Flower Nail Crimson Jutsu. A multitude of shurikens soared through the air, precisely targeting the three ninja swordsmen. Expecting a straightforward dodge, the swordsmen were taken aback, as the shurikens seemed to mirror their movements, guided by Karen's control. Realizing the shurikens were being manipulated, the swordsmen swiftly changed their tactics, skillfully employing their ninja tools. They deflected the shurikens and severed the wires connecting them to Karen's control. With a swift motion, Kushimaru Kurira severed the wire, preparing to retrieve the burning shuriken. However, in that very moment, Karen unleashed the sun-breathing Phoenix Flash technique. Emerging from the flames that engulfed Kushimaru Kurira's surroundings, Karen swiftly struck, slashing at his adversary. Kushimaru Kurira, a seasoned veteran of numerous battles and assassinations, possessed a keen perception of danger. He managed to evade the brunt of the attack, yet a deep gash marred his back, surrounded by burn marks. Bastard! Cried Kushimaru Kurira in agony. Determined to retaliate, he employed his ninja tools, launching a rapid assault at Karen. However, despite his formidable speed, Kushimaru Kurira found himself unable to inflict any harm upon his opponent. In a sudden twist, Karen employed the body flicker technique, swiftly vanishing from the scene. As he disappeared, a deafening boom echoed as a hammer crashed down on the spot where he had stood just moments before. Reappearing gracefully, Karen landed only to be confronted by Juzo, who materialized behind him, slashing at his back. Reacting with lightning speed, Karen countered with the sun-breathing fire wheel technique, cleaving Juzo in half. However, to Karen's expectation, Juzo's body transformed into water, splashing onto the ground, a water clone technique. Unexpectedly, the real Juzo emerged from the side, unleashing the water release. Great waterfall flow technique. A massive whirlpool formed, encircling Karen, its intention to drown him. Unyielding in the face of such a ploy, Karen employed the fire release. Flame whirlwind technique. A colossal whirlwind of fire collided with the swirling water, cancelling its effect, and generating a significant amount of water vapor in the process. Faced with the relentless assault from Juzo, Kushimaru Kurira, and Jin and Akabino, Karen realized he couldn't afford to let his guard down. Swiftly grasping his sword, Juzo launched a ferocious attack at Karen, while both Kushimaru and Jinin followed suit. Now surrounded by enemies on all sides, Karen knew he had to act swiftly. Drawing upon his thunder-breathing techniques, Karen unleashed the thunder-breathing first form, sixfold. With astounding speed, he moved and slashed at all three adversaries simultaneously. Though Juzo and Jinin managed to defend themselves, the force of Karen's attack sent them hurtling through the air. In the chaos, Kushimaru suffered injuries from Karen's assault, leaving him vulnerable. Without hesitation, Karen seized the opportunity to end Kushimaru's life before Juzo and Jinin could regroup. Employing the thunder-breathing lightning burst technique, Karen unleashed a series of lightning-fast slashes, striking Kushimaru 3 times consecutively. The onslaught proved fatal, tearing Kushimaru's body into 3 parts, bringing an end to his life. While Jinin and Juzo were momentarily separated from the scene, they returned to find the lifeless body of Kushimaru. The sight ignited a fiery rage within Jinin, who seethed, "You dare to kill Kushimaru, you bastard." In a fit of fury, Jinin launched an immediate attack on Karen, wielding his hammer with relentless force. However, as the hammer descended, Karen vanished, reappearing above the weapon, seemingly taunting Jinin. This sight only served to fuel Jinin's anger further, driving him to unleash a relentless assault on Karen. In the heat of his furious attacks, Jinin lacked a coherent pattern, preventing Juzo from getting close to Karen to aid in the assault. Jinin's onslaught continued unabated, with Karen skillfully defending against the onslaught. Then, in a moment of realization, Jinin caught a glimpse of Karen's eyes, his Sharingan with 3 tomo. Consumed by rage, Jinin momentarily forgot the warning against meeting Karen's gaze. Instantly falling victim to an illusion, Jinin found himself trapped. Seizing the opportunity, Karen swiftly executed the sun-breathing scorching rush technique. With lightning speed, he materialized before Jinin, who managed to break free from the Jinjutsu just a moment too late. Karen unleashed a swift and deadly combination of 5 devastating moves, swiftly ending Jinin's life. After witnessing his teammates being systematically killed one by one, Juzo's heart became engulfed in a tumultuous whirlwind of emotions. The sight of the Jonin ninjas he had led into battle being mercilessly slain by Uchiha Karen's subordinates left him feeling a profound sense of helplessness and anger. It was not merely because he had personally brought them along, but also because the loss of every Jonin carried immense weight for the entire village. Aware that victory was unattainable, Juzo steeled his resolve and made the decision to flee from the harrowing battleground. Upon witnessing Juzo's hasty retreat, Uchiha Karen experienced a sense of relief. Although he possessed the capability to eliminate Juzo, doing so would consume valuable time, a luxury he could ill afford if he desired to prevent further casualties within his clan. Thus, he refrained from pursuing Juzo and redirected his focus towards the Genins of the Kurigaka army. Recognizing that the Jonins of Kurigaka were virtually incapacitated, with only a handful remaining, they could easily be dealt with by his clan's Jonins. Uchiha Karen launched an assault on the Genins, aiming to alleviate the pressure they faced from the Uchiha clan and subsequently eliminate the entire opposing army, thereby ensuring their support for the forces stationed at the rear. Karen immediately issued the order, "All Genins retreat." The moment his words reached their ears, the Genins of the Uchiha clan swiftly withdrew from the ongoing battle. However, retreating from an ongoing battle was no easy feat. To facilitate their escape, Karen employed the water-breathing third form, flowing dance technique, wielding a sword imbued with water chakra. He moved with a grace akin to dancing, swiftly dispatching 30 Genins in a single fluid motion. Witnessing this display, the Genins from Kurigaka were overcome with fear, allowing the Uchiha clan members to retreat effortlessly. Observing his clan's ninjas successfully retreating, Karen sheathed his sword and unleashed the fire release. Great Fire Annihilation Technique. A colossal torrent of flames engulfed the area, obliterating 80% of the ninjas within its range. With only Genins and a few Chunins left engaged in battle, there was minimal resistance. Witnessing the extent of the destruction, the remaining ninjas from Kurigaka began fleeing in terror. As Karen's subordinates expressed a desire to pursue and finish off the fleeing ninjas, Karen's voice resonated, "Let them go. They are nothing but insignificant trash. Our priority is to reach the rear battlefield, where the situation may not be favorable. Those capable of fighting, come with me." With those words, Karen set off in the direction of the rear battlefield. At this moment, he found himself slightly out of breath, a result of exertion from employing ninjutsu and engaging in combat against 3 of the ninja swordsmen. Fatigued, he possessed only 1/3 of his chakra reserves. After getting the orders from Karen, almost everyone started to move to support their clan members, as within those people there is their friends and family. Only those who were seriously injured and unable to move and some others also stayed behind to take care of these injured ninjas. After traveling for approximately 10 to 15 minutes, they finally reached the Rue battlefield. The situation here was far from optimistic. While most of the Jonins had been killed, a significant number of Chunins and Genins still remained, and Uchiha clan members were being slain intermittently. Being the first to arrive, Karen immediately focused his attention on the two remaining Jonins. Unleashing the thunder-breathing first form, eightfold technique, he swiftly killed both Jonins, his speed unwavering. In a seamless display of skill, he also eliminated 20 Chunins before anyone could even react. The remaining ninjas who had followed Karen joined forces to attack the remaining opponents. At this moment, Karen issued an order for the rest of the ninjas to encircle the remaining ninjas from Kurigaka, preventing any attempts at escape from their ranks. Surrounded by numerous Chunins, Nakamura employed the flame-breathing fourth form, blooming flame undulation technique, swiftly decapitating all the Chunins encircling him. Likewise, Aiko, slightly panting, faced 4 Chunins in front of her, and promptly utilized the thunder-breathing first form. Six-fold technique. With astonishing speed, she swiftly eliminated all the Chunins before her. Emiko, confronting the Chunins before her, employed the water-breathing fourth form, striking tide technique, slaying each and every one of them. Hiroshi, facing his adversaries, employed the wind-breathing fourth form, rising dust storm technique. With a circular motion of his blade, a whirlwind of wind enveloped him, slashing through all the surrounding Chunins. Using the stone-breathing first form, serpentinite bipolar technique, Mitsuda killed 7 Chunins from Kurigaka, who were engaged in combat with him. Karen raised his hand and unleashed the lightning release, chain lightning technique. A dense bolt of lightning emanated from his hand, piercing the body of a Chunin. The lightning then surged through the air, connecting with the other Chunins in a chain-like fashion, ultimately striking and eliminating a total of 10 Chunins present. The battle continued in this manner, and after half an hour, everyone except a few who managed to escape had been killed. Following the conclusion of the battle, Karen issued orders to tally the casualties suffered by the Uchiha clan. He commanded the bodies of the fallen Kurigaka ninjas to be cremated. Rather than retiring to his tent and resting, Karen chose to offer assistance to any clan members who were in need, prioritizing their well-being over his own rest. After 3 arduous hours, Uchiha Karen and his subordinates finally completed the task of freeing themselves. The deceased Uchiha clan members were respectfully sealed within a sealing scroll, while the fallen Kurigaka ninja were given a proper cremation. Within the confines of his tent, Uchiha Karen sat alongside his subordinates and Jonin members, seeking answers. He turned to Emiko and inquired, "How many casualties did our clan suffer?" Emiko responded solemnly, "We have suffered a total of 80 casualties. Among them, 50 ninjas have lost their lives. Within these fallen warriors, we mourn the loss of 4 Jonins, 16 Chunins, and 30 Genins. Additionally, out of the remaining 30 injured ninjas, 10 of them will never be able to fight again." Karen nodded upon hearing Emiko's report and responded, "Form a team comprising 6 individuals, consisting of 2 Jonins and 4 Chunins. Send those ninjas who are unable to fight due to various reasons back to the clan head at the battlefield between the Fire Country and the Water Country." Concern arose as one of the supporting Jonins, who had been dispatched to safeguard Karen, voiced his apprehension, "But this will further diminish the already scarce number of Jonins in our team. I understand, but if I don't send these injured ninjas back, they will impede our movements and require additional manpower to care for them. Therefore, I have no choice but to send them back. However, I cannot allow our clansmen to leave without any protection, nor can I send the bodies of our fallen clansmen without safeguarding them. It is no secret within the upper echelons of the Uchiha clan that Danzo has set his sights on a Sharingan," Uchiha Karen stated with a steely resolve, his gaze reflecting the coldness he felt when discussing Danzo. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, the Jonin nodded in agreement, and everyone present in the tent supported Karen's approach. Thus, it was ultimately decided to send a team of 6 individuals, along with the non-combatant members, back to the clan head. Following this, the team members for the departing group of ninjas were carefully selected, and they were given time to rest, ensuring they remained at their peak performance to protect the injured ninjas. Karen addressed the rest of the group, saying, "You all should also take some rest. I understand that you must be tired. Instruct those ninjas who have not participated in much combat and possess combat strength to guard the camp during the extended period of rest. I have decided to extend the rest period by 2 days. Only after these 2 days will the Uchiha clan members join the army." The Jonins were taken aback but delighted by this unexpected announcement. However, at that moment Emiko voiced her concerns. Wouldn't a behavior be perceived as disobedience? The higher-ups may create difficulties for you. If they perceive it as disobedience, so be it. They are not the ones in the army, nor have they fought and defeated the Kurigaka ninjas. The ninjas from the Uchiha clan need time to recover and rest before they can join another battlefield. Rest properly, tend to the wounded, and leave the rest to me. I will handle it, stated Uchiha Karen. While some might interpret Uchiha Karen's behavior as arrogance, he possessed the strength to back it up. Once the reports of the battle reached the higher-ups of the village, they would become aware of Karen's capabilities and have to handle him with caution. If they failed to do so, it could potentially backfire, especially considering that Karen was the only son of Uchiha Takoma, the second most influential person within the Uchiha clan. Afterward, everyone vacated Uchiha Karen's tent and retired to their respective shelters. As the tent emptied, Karen himself began pondering the situation. Despite the loss of numerous Uchiha clan members, he realized that this tragic event had also served to fortify the resolve of the remaining ninjas. Witnessing the demise of their comrades and loved ones had prompted many Uchiha clan members to awaken their Sharingan, or further develop their existing Sharingan, albeit limited to the 3 Tomo level. With these thoughts lingering in his mind, Karen too retired for the night, knowing that the following morning he would be tasked with dispatching the Uchiha ninja team and welcoming members from other clans. He needed to ensure he was well rested and prepared. The following morning, Uchiha Karen awoke and prepared himself for the day ahead. Once he was ready, he addressed the departing ninjas, urging them to prioritize their safety during the journey and ensuring the safe arrival of the injured individuals at the camp. With Karen's instructions in mind, the Uchiha clan's team of ninjas embarked on their mission, escorting the injured ninjas toward the camp, situated on the battlefield in the water country. After an hour had passed since the departure of the previous ninja team, another team of ninjas arrived. However, this team was not from the Uchiha clan, but rather from the Sarutobi clan. They were guided to meet Uchiha Karen, who awaited them in his tent. Inside the tent, Karen was not alone. He sat alongside his trusted subordinates. A team of 4 ninjas entered the tent where Uchiha Karen was waiting for them. Upon seeing Uchiha Karen in front of him, the leading ninja came forward and introduced himself, saying, "My name is Kid Sarutobi. I have come here on behalf of Shinobi-sama, the chief commander of the army in the T-Country battlefield. The army is marching forward to the battlefront through a different path. Therefore, I am here to inform you that the route has changed and to escort you and the Uchiha clan members to the battlefield." "Oh, the route has changed," Uchiha Karen responded, his voice laced with a touch of amusement. "As the commander of the Uchiha clan army, I must admit I am quite surprised to hear this news from you, Kid." Uchiha Karen's eyes glimmered with curiosity as he leaned in slightly, intrigued by the unexpected turn of events. "What circumstances have led to this alteration? It seems I have been left in the dark regarding the recent developments. The plan was suddenly changed, so that we could catch Kurigaka by surprise and deal them a devastating blow. That's why we weren't able to inform you," explained Kid. "Really? And here I thought that last night we were ambushed by nearly 500 Kurigaka soldiers, and now you appear. There must be some sort of conspiracy. But I suppose I was mistaken," replied Uchiha Karen, a smile playing across his face. Upon hearing Karen's words, Kid's expression stiffened momentarily. However, he swiftly regained his composure, and, as if unaffected by the revelation, calmly spoke. "So, the battle scars outside the camp were a result of the Uchiha clan's clash with Kurigaka ninjas?" "Yes," Karen confirmed with a simple yet firm reply. At that moment, Amiko rose to her feet and suggested, "Why don't we verify their claims and check these individuals to see if they truly came with honest intentions?" Karen shifted his gaze towards Kid and proposed, "It appears that some of my subordinates harbor doubts, and to alleviate their concerns, why not undergo a thorough inspection? This way, we can put everyone's minds at ease." Kid's expression turned solemn as he replied, "Investigating us solely based on your assumptions and suspicions goes against the rules of our village. We cannot accept such a breach of protocol. As the leader of this clan, I have the right to inspect any individuals who arouse suspicion," Karen stated assertively, signaling his subordinates with a determined look. Responding to Karen's signal, his subordinates swiftly surrounded each person, activating their Sharingan and locking eyes with them. Casting them into a Genjutsu, they posed a single question: "What was your purpose in coming here?" The response echoed uniformly as each individual answered, "We came with the common purpose of verifying whether any Uchiha clan members had perished." Upon hearing the response, a wave of anger surged through everyone present. However, they managed to restrain their emotions and posed another question, their tone laced with urgency. "When exactly did you become aware of this impending assault by the Kurigaka ninjas?" The ninjas representing the Sarutobi clan promptly replied, "We were informed about it 1 day prior to the attack." After receiving their replies, they were released from the Genjutsu, and as they regained their senses, they were met with the icy countenances of the Uchiha clan members present. Instantly, they comprehended the gravity of the situation, and were overcome with a cold sweat. "Master Karen," Uchiha Nakamura interjected urgently, "we should swiftly relay this information back to the village, seeking explanations and informing the clan head." Karen shook his head in response, his voice filled with calculated concern. "There's no need. If we send them away, they will find protection under the Hokage and other high-ranking officials. This incident could be exploited against us, particularly by Danzo, who could spread malicious rumors, suggesting that we manipulated information through genjutsu. Furthermore, our clan head Uchiha Fugaku is all talk and no action, so it's best not to bother him. Emiko, her face filled with unwillingness, voiced her frustration. We have lost so many clan members. We cannot allow these individuals to leave without consequences. Obviously, they won't go unchecked. We will seek revenge in due time. However, for now, I will inform my father of what transpired here and discuss our next steps within Konoha, Karen stated resolutely. Hearing Karen's words, everyone present nodded in agreement, placing their trust in Uchiha Karen's decisions and strategic thinking. For now, go and gather all the clan members. I have an important announcement to make, Karen commanded. Receiving the order from Karen, Mitsuda and Hiroshi exited the tent tasked with gathering the Uchiha clan members. Within a span of 15 minutes, the clan members were gathered, and Uchiha Karen stood atop a high platform that he created using Earth style. The members were tied to a wooden structure just below the elevated platform. Observing that everyone had settled down, Uchiha Karen began to address the assembly. Upon closer examination, you will notice that these individuals belong to the Sarutobi clan. You might be wondering why they have been captured. Karen paused momentarily to build suspense before explaining the entire situation. After concluding the explanation for why the Sarutobi clan members were bound, Karen continued his speech. If I were to send them back to Konoha village, they would find protection from the higher-ups, and in turn, our Uchiha clan members would be condemned by them. Therefore, I have made the decision to eliminate them all, Karen declared firmly. He paused, his gaze sweeping across the members of the Uchiha clan, observing their reactions, before adding, "Now, I present you with two options. Option 1. You may stab these individuals one by one, seeking revenge for what they did to our friends and relatives. Option 2. I will be the one to end their lives. The choice is yours." As soon as Karen's words were spoken, the entire ground fell into silence. No one uttered a word. After a few minutes of this eerie silence, an Uchiha ninja stepped forward and swiftly stabbed one of the Sarutobi ninjas with his kunai. This single act set off a chain reaction, and one by one, almost every Uchiha ninja began doing the same to the members of the Sarutobi clan. Some Uchiha clan members refrained from taking any action as they believed in peace over violence. Uchiha Karen respected their choice and didn't comment or say anything. He simply stated, "This was just the beginning. The real revenge will be taken later." After the event, everyone dispersed and returned to their previous tasks. As they were leaving, Karen signaled his subordinates with a nod, and they understood his message before departing. Karen returned to his tent and with a bang, he used the summoning technique, summoning a black cat that appeared in front of him. "What do you need me to do?" asked the black cat. "Kuroi, I want you to deliver this scroll to my father," said Karen as he handed a scroll to Kuroi. Kuroi took the scroll from Karen, nodded, and with another bang, disappeared from the place. After Kuroi left, Karen's subordinates returned. Upon seeing their return, Karen looked at them and asked, "How many?" "3. We found 3 individuals. One was sending information to the clan head, and the other 2 were sending information to the Hokage." Emiko stepped forward and explained. Karen nodded upon hearing Emiko's words. Before addressing the Uchiha clan members, he instructed his subordinates to keep a close eye on every Uchiha ninja to identify any spies from the Hokage's side. His plan succeeded, as at least 2 spies were discovered. "You all did well. Now go and reflect on the gains from the battle you fought, as it will benefit you greatly," said Karen as he dismissed all of them. His subordinates nodded and left. It has been a few hours since the incident at Karen's camp. Inside Konoha, Hiruzen was examining 2 pieces of information sent to him by Uchiha clan's true followers of the Will of Fire. Sitting beside him were Danzo, Kaharu, and Hamura. The strength displayed by Uchiha Karen and his subordinates is concerning, and their actions towards your clan members, who are fellow villagers, are unacceptable, said Danzo. Yes, Danzo is correct. His power has grown to the extent that he can defeat 3 members of the Kurigaka's ninja 7 Swordsmen, and numerous high-ranking jonin. Although those jonin were promoted to special jonin due to the war, they are still stronger than an elite shunin, said Kaharu. Not to mention his subordinates, their strength is on par with that of a jonin, and they can engage in equal combat with elite jonin, said Hamura. Yes, but he also successfully repelled the attack from Kurigaka. We must acknowledge his accomplishment, said Hiruzen. What if we tarnish his reputation first? Even if his deeds are later revealed, they will not have the desired impact, suggested Danzo. Hiruzen remained silent, implying his agreement with the suggestion. Kaharu and Hamura immediately concurred, recalling how Sakumo was treated. The room fell into a heavy silence. The next morning, discussions filled the streets of Konoha. People exclaimed, how could someone be so heartless? Yes, at such a tender age his cruelty is unfathomable. He mercilessly slaughtered members of the Sarutobi clan merely on suspicion. In my opinion, he is sowing discord within the village. Such an evil person deserves execution. At the same time, inside the Uchiha clan compound, Uchiha Takuma received a report that his son had been slandered throughout Konoha. He was furious, but he managed to control his anger as he recalled the contents of the scroll sent by his son. He turned to the gathered Uchiha police force ninjas and asked, "Do you remember what to do?" "Yes, we will ensure that the whole of Konoha learns the truth," replied the members of the Uchiha police force. Afterward, they departed. As the Uchiha police force passed by, people started whispering, "Look, these guys are from the same clan as that Uchiha Karen." The members of the police force chuckled, such fools, destined to remain at the bottom, unable to reach our heights. Yeah, Karen engaged in battle with 3 of the 7 ninja swordsmen from Kurigaka. He killed 2 of them and forced 1 to flee. He also slew more than 20 jonin, nearly double the number of chunin, and around 100 genin. Not only him, but his subordinates also achieved remarkable feats. But will they ever know the truth? No, after all, they are the people at the bottom of society. What the Hokage says is considered gospel. Yeah, they buzz around like flies, oblivious to the facts. No one cares that they were investigated before being executed, especially because they are from the Sarutobi clan. And who belongs to the Sarutobi clan? Our Hokage. Will they be punished? Never. That's why I agree with Karen's approach. Those bastards from the Sarutobi, Uchiha, and Mitakado clans changed their route to avoid conflicts with the Kurigaka army. Our Uchiha clan, with just 200 members, defeated the Kurigaka army, which had twice our numbers. That's the power of the Uchiha. Yeah. But why are we discussing all this here? After all, a lion never shows off in front of mice. Let's go. Conversations between Uchiha clan police force like this spread throughout Konoha. The instructions given by Uchiha Karen to Takoma were exactly that. He had asked his father to allow the Uchiha police force to ridicule the civilians of Konoha village, after Danzo spread the rumors. The spreading of rumors by Danzo was something Uchiha Karen had anticipated. Uchiha Karen instructed the Uchiha police force to ridicule the civilians, not to explain things to them. This was based on an understanding of human nature. When individuals are ridiculed, they often feel compelled to search for evidence to refute the claims and prove the ridiculing party wrong. Uchiha Karen believed that by provoking the Konoha civilians in this way, they would actively seek out facts to demonstrate that the Uchiha clan members were in the wrong and that they were not fools as portrayed. This method proved to be effective as many civilians gathered outside the Hokage building, demanding a clear clarification of what had actually happened. Hiruzen stood by the window of his office, observing the crowd and their requests for an explanation. "It appears that I underestimated the Uchiha clan. They have successfully manipulated the minds of the civilians," remarked Danzo with a somber expression. Just then, the gate of Hokage's office opened, and an Ambu ninja entered with a scroll. "Hokage-sama, this is the battle report sent by Uchiha Karen," the Ambu ninja informed. Hiruzen took the scroll and read its contents. It contained all the details without any omissions, including the killings of the Sarutobi clan members. "Hokage-sama, Uchiha Takoma is here and requesting to meet you." Another Ambu ninja approached Hiruzen and informed him. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow at this and glanced towards Danzo. He then turned to the Ambu ninja and said, "Go ahead and bring him in." After obtaining Hiruzen's permission, the Ambu ninja brought Takoma into the room. "Is there something you want, Takoma?" said Hiruzen. "No, I just heard that my son sent the battle report. I came here to make a simple request to Hokage-sama," Takoma replied with a smile. "Go ahead," Hiruzen nodded. "It's a simple request. I ask that the report sent by my son be announced to the entire village. As you know, when people are praised for their actions, they are motivated to work even harder. However, if they don't receive recognition and credit for what they deserve, their fighting spirit diminishes," Takoma explained with a smile. Although he spoke these words on the surface, his true intention was straightforward. "If you do not give my son and the members of the Uchiha clan the credit they deserve, the Uchiha clan will cease to fight." Hearing Takoma's words, the smile vanished from Hiruzen's face. He responded in a cold voice, "You don't have to remind me, Takoma. I will certainly announce Uchiha Karen's deeds to the civilians." "Thank you, Hokage-sama. Then I will take my leave," Takoma said, turning to leave. Just as he was about to exit the Hokage's office, Danzo spoke up. "The actions of the Uchiha police force are unacceptable. Control them. There's no need to worry. They were simply carrying out their orders to apprehend the culprit responsible for spreading rumors," Takoma replied, turning around. "You know, my son mentioned that there are mice in Konoha who love to dwell in their own fantasies and scurry about in the darkness, spreading rumors and engaging in unsavory activities. But what else can you expect from a mouse? However, if that mouse is ever caught by me," Takoma continued, lifting his leg and stomping it on the floor, releasing his chakra, "I will crush it like this." By witnessing Takoma's chakra release, it became evident that he had reached the threshold to enter cage level. Hiruzen also released his chakra and said, "Takoma, sorry, Hokage-sama. It seems I got carried away," Takoma replied. With those words, the smile returned to Takoma's face, and he eased off the pressure before leaving the Hokage's office. Danzo's face wore a gloomy expression, and his anger caused him to clench his fist. Although Takoma didn't mention any names, it was clear that his words were directed at Danzo. At that moment, a flustered root ninja, hurriedly entered the Hokage's office. Seeing the ninja in such a state, Danzo felt concerned and asked, "What happened? Why are you so flustered?" "Danzo-sama, Uchiha clan members have killed 30 of our root ninjas," the root ninja replied, with his head bowed down. "What? How dare they?" Danzo exclaimed in fury. Danzo turned his gaze towards Hiruzen and said, "Hiruzen, the Uchiha clan has rebelled. We must launch a counterattack immediately." Hiruzen didn't react to this and remained calm. Just then, an Anbu ninja appeared before Hiruzen. Hiruzen asked, "What's the matter?" "Hokage-sama, we questioned the Uchiha clan members about this, and the answer they gave us was, they found these ninjas suspicious and wanted to capture them for interrogation. However, these ninjas resisted, and during the ensuing fight, they were killed on the spot. A few surviving root ninjas have been permanently disabled and can no longer function as ninjas. Since we cannot intervene with the Uchiha police force, and technically they did not violate any rules, we couldn't take any action," the Anbu ninja reported. "What do you mean they didn't violate any rules?" Danzo wanted to scold the Anbu ninja. "Stop, Danzo. In a way, the Uchiha clan didn't violate any rules, because the records of the root ninjas are erased, so there is no basis to refuse their actions," said Hiruzen, intervening. At that moment, another Anbu ninja entered and said, "Around 30 members of the Sarutobi clan have been captured on various charges. The complaints against them were lodged by civilians, so we couldn't interfere." Hiruzen's face turned gloomy. "After all these years, I am witnessing the Uchiha clan utilizing the power of the police force," he remarked. Hiruzen took the list of members of the Sarutobi clan and reviewed the reasons. He wasn't surprised after reading them because they matched his expectations. "On what basis were they arrested?" asked Danzo. "They were arrested due to their weaknesses, such as gambling and drinking. It's obviously not a coincidence. The Uchiha clan must have used small-scale illusions to intensify their desires, leading them to make significant mistakes. The Uchiha police force seized the opportunity to capture them, and obviously it can't be detected that they used illusions." Hiruzen speculated, "Let Anbu ninjas keep an eye on the Uchiha police force, and ensure the safety of our village's ninjas," said Hiruzen, gazing at the kneeling Anbu ninja. "Yes, Hokage-sama. We will monitor the members of the Uchiha clan police force," the Anbu ninja responded. After saying this, the ninja disappeared from the Hokage's office. "Hiruzen, if we don't control the Uchiha clan, they will become uncontrollable," said Danzo. Hiruzen nodded in agreement after hearing Danzo's words and replied, "Uchiha Karen will lead his clan members into battle, won't he? Let them handle the difficult tasks as long as they're alive. I will ensure it is done," said Danzo, and he left the Hokage's office. Outside his camp, in an open space, Karen was practicing his chakra control and refining his breathing techniques. After training for 4 hours, Karen stopped and sat down, taking out some dry food to eat. At that moment, Aiko approached him and said, "Master Karen, there is news from Konoha." Sit down and have some," Karen replied, offering her some dry food. "Master Karen, the news," Aiko began. "It's not urgent. I can still listen while eating, so have a seat and eat first, then talk," Karen insisted. "Yes," Aiko responded, complying with Karen's request. She sat down beside him and took the food he offered. "I am aware of your feelings and Amiko's feelings for me, but I have goals to accomplish and don't have the time for that, at least not now. Maybe in the future," Karen said unexpectedly. Aiko was taken aback by Karen's words, and her face turned red, extending up to her ears. In a soft voice, she replied, "I am willing to wait, and Amiko will wait as well." Karen nodded in response to Aiko's words. To ease the awkwardness caused by his sudden statement, Karen asked Aiko about her progress and other matters. He wasn't the type to engage in romantic conversations or talk about love. After they finished eating, Karen said, "Now, tell me the news you wanted to share." "Yes, it goes like this," Aiko began, narrating the entire story that had unfolded in Konoha. The information had been sent by Karen's father. Upon hearing Aiko's words, Karen rose solemnly. "Why is he taking such actions? I only asked him to counter the rumors spread by Danzo, not to do something like this," he lamented. Unaware of the gravity of the situation Karen was alluding to, Aiko responded with a cold expression. "Those who have killed our clan members, be they from the Sarutobi clan or root, deserve the consequences." Karen maintained his solemn demeanor as he expressed his thoughts. "While I understand that they may deserve consequences for their actions, this is not the appropriate method, especially given the current circumstances," he remarked. Aiko's confusion deepened as she tried to comprehend Karen's words. Sensing her bewilderment, Karen clarified, "With the decrease in pressure on the borders of the water country, it is likely that Fugaku will return to Konoha and reclaim the captain's position. This presents an opportunity for Hiruzen to manipulate the situation. While my father holds significant influence, he is not above the influence of the Hokage. Send him a message urging him not to engage in further provocative actions. Instead, let us focus on seeking revenge for the Sarutobi clan, but in the battlefield away from Konoha. Aiko defended Takoma, saying, "Takoma-sama loves you deeply, which is why he is willing to go to such extreme lengths." Karen sighed, acknowledging Aiko's point. "I understand his intentions, but I firmly believe that this is not the right approach," he replied, his mind immersed in contemplation. "All right, send an urgent message to my father, urging him not to act recklessly," Karen instructed. "Also, gather all 12 Jonins who are currently present here. I must meet with them. I need to demonstrate my strength and create a deterrent effect, so that Hiruzen doesn't even consider laying a hand on my father. I will immediately send a message and call the Jonins on short notice," said Aiko, swiftly leaving the scene. Aiko walked away, fully aware of the immense importance of Karen's words. Utilizing her summoning technique, Aiko summoned her feline summon beast, which also happened to be a cat. She entrusted the message to the cat and dispatched it to deliver the crucial communication. Aiko promptly ordered all Jonins to assemble, and Karen's other subordinates were also gathered. Within a matter of minutes, all the Jonins and Karen's subordinates stood before him, ready to receive his instructions. The efficient mobilization reflected the efficacy of Aiko's actions, and a sense of urgency filled the air as they prepared to face the challenges ahead. Uchiha Karen stood before them and spoke, "All of you are powerful Uchiha clan Jonins. With the Sharingan, your strength is further amplified. I have a task for you. One that will not only allow you to seek revenge on the Kurigika ninja, but also enhance your reputation among the current Konoha Jonins. Are you all willing to undertake this task?" "Yes, we are wholeheartedly committed to completing it," responded each Uchiha Jonin with unwavering enthusiasm. Karen nodded in acknowledgement of their determination and continued, "You are all familiar with the Uchiha flame formation, correct?" "Yes, this is a standard defensive ninjutsu that every Uchiha Jonin learns," stated one of the Jonins, while the others nodded in agreement, acknowledging the fact presented by their fellow Uchiha Jonin. Karen then turned his attention towards the group of 4 Jonins and inquired, "Have you 4 also mastered the Uchiha flame formation, similar to the 4 violet flames formation used by the Anbu?" "Yes, the Uchiha flame formation that we employ creates a large barrier. Although it possesses weaker sealing abilities compared to the 4 violet flames formation, it offers the advantage of mobility," explained one of the Jonins. "Excellent. With your abilities, my plan can be executed more effectively," remarked Karen, observing the perplexed expressions on the faces of the Jonins. Observing the perplexed expressions on the faces of the Jonin, Karen spoke up, "As you're all aware, Sarutobi and other clans are currently engaged in battle on the front lines. Naturally, we understand the Sarutobi clan's disposition towards the Tea country, and Konoha's commitment to protecting its civilians from harm. Consequently, they won't prioritize this fight, focusing instead on defensive measures. They won't interfere in the conflict between Sunagika and Kurigika, and eventually tensions will subside after Konoha's involvement. However, that's not what I want. My objective is a decisive attack on the Sarutobi, Uchiha, and Mitokado clans, executed jointly by ninjas from both villages. We'll strike their base from behind." Karen shifted his gaze towards the 4 Jonin and continued, "With your exceptional abilities, we can maintain a stealthy approach, allowing us more time before the news reaches the front lines. By operating covertly and coordinating, we'll catch them off guard, preventing any immediate retaliation." After hearing Uchiha Karen's plan, many were shocked, while others expressed concerns about its feasibility. "Leader, but is this plan really feasible? Implementing it would further entangle Konoha in the quagmire of war," hesitantly remarked one of the Jonin. "We are already mired in the war, and we cannot leave the attack on our clan unanswered. Those despicable Sarutobi clan members think they can play it safe, don't they? Well, I'll make sure they experience hell," Karen coldly replied. But the Jonin attempted to voice further objections, yet Karen raised his hand and interrupted. "Firstly, I am the leader of this expedition, and you must follow my orders. Secondly, you may forget the deaths of those Uchiha clan members who perished due to conspiracies, but I cannot. I will make those responsible pay, even if it costs me my life. That's the resolve I've held since leaving Konoha for the battlefield." Karen turned around and added, "If they can stab us in the back, then I can do the same, and even more perfectly than them. Now, go and make thorough preparations, and remember one thing. Your name bears the Uchiha legacy. It is your responsibility to fight for the Uchiha family. Some of you may have been loyal to Sarutobi Hiruzen, but keep in mind that your families reside within the Uchiha clan. I will tolerate anything except betrayal. Therefore, think carefully about every move you make, or else you and your families will face a heavy price," Karen stated with a chilling tone. Afterward, every Jonin departed, but Karen's subordinates remained eagerly awaiting further orders from Uchiha Karen. "Nakamura and Hiroshi, the 2 of you will proceed ahead of everyone else. Gather detailed information about the ongoing war, but be cautious not to get too close. Utilize your summoning abilities to thoroughly investigate the area. Understood, Karen commanded. Yes, we will thoroughly investigate the situation, replied Nakamura. With that, both Nakamura and Hiroshi left the tent to make preparations for their mission. After 2 days, we have a major battle ahead. Make sure all of you are prepared, Karen announced. With Karen's permission granted, they exited the tent. In the deep night, in a corner of the tent, a ninja folded a piece of paper after writing something and handed it to a frog. The ninja said, "Send this message to the Hokage as soon as possible." The toad nodded, seemingly understanding the ninja's instructions. It leaped in the opposite direction to fulfill its assigned task. However, just as the toad jumped and was mid-air, a kunai infused with thunder chakra pierced through the toad, pinning it to the ground. The ninja who had just entrusted the message to the toad swiftly drew his own kunai and activated his sharingan. He uttered, "Who?" He searched the surroundings diligently until he finally spotted 2 sky blue eyes glowing in the darkness above the trees. "You didn't take my advice, did you? If I recall correctly, your information mentioned a daughter named Izumi and your civilian wife, right?" Finally, the face of the person sitting on the tree became visible. It was Uchiha Karen. Upon seeing him, the Uchiha Jonin became drenched in cold sweat, fully aware of his fate. He held no illusions of survival after being discovered by Uchiha Karen. With desperation, he pleaded, "Please spare my family. They are innocent. It depends on whether your daughter possesses talent. If she does, your family will receive favorable treatment. If not, she will be expelled from the Uchiha clan. By the way, wouldn't it be amusing if your daughter avenged your death by killing the Sarutobi clan?" Karen said with a smile. "You can't do that. She is a pure and innocent girl." The head of the Jonin was severed from his body before he could complete his sentence. "You should have considered the consequences before betraying the Uchiha family," Karen muttered. The lifeless body of the Jonin lying on the ground caught fire and was reduced to ashes within a matter of minutes. In the morning, inside Konoha, there was a sense of tension. The emergency signal of the Uchiha clan police force went off, and upon seeing the commotion, Uchiha Tomoka also felt uneasy. What could have happened to prompt the Uchiha police force to use the emergency signal? The signal's direction led straight to the prison, so Tomoka immediately headed towards it. Even Hiruzen was alarmed by the situation, and since it was wartime, he couldn't overlook such a matter. He too proceeded towards the Uchiha police force prison. Finally, when Tomoka reached the prison, he was greeted by his subordinate, whom he asked, "What happened?" "Takoma-sama, this is bad," Uchiha Rin exclaimed. "All the prisoners that we had captured were killed last night. Furthermore, all the Uchiha clan members who were guarding the prison were also slain. Among them, we lost 2 Jonins, one of whom was an elite Jonin." Shocked and furious, Takoma's face betrayed his anger as he questioned, "But how could this happen so smoothly without alerting us?" At that moment, Hiruzen arrived with the Anbu ninjas, and Danzo followed closely, positioning himself alongside Hiruzen. As soon as Hiruzen appeared, he inquired, "What happened, Uchiha Takoma?" "All the prisoners in the prison were killed, which is why the emergency signal was activated," explained Takoma. "So, you mean to say that all the members of the Sarutobi clan were killed inside the prison?" asked Danzo. "Why ask such an obvious question? Not only the prisoners, but also our Uchiha clan members who were guarding the prison perished," Takoma replied coldly. "Who knows, perhaps you sacrificed some members of your Uchiha clan to cover up your killing of the Sarutobi clan," retorted Danzo. "You mean to tell me that I would sacrifice my elite Uchiha clan members for the sake of those worthless Sarutobi family members? Just one elite Jonin who perished in last night's attack could defeat anyone from the Sarutobi clan in one-on-one combat, except the Hokage. Aside from the Hokage, can those trash even compare to the elite Jonin of my Uchiha clan?" Takoma's anger burned fiercely as he expressed his frustration. His anger stemmed not from the potential consequences, but from the loss of one of his most exceptional subordinates. "Enough, Takoma. While I understand your grief over the death of your subordinate, you need to explain this situation clearly, or I will begin to doubt the capabilities of your police force," Hiruzen declared sternly. "The investigation is ongoing, and you will have the results on your desk within a few hours. I will bear the responsibility for all of this, and resign as the deputy captain of the Uchiha police force once Fugaku arrives," Takoma stated firmly. Before departing, he approached the Hokage and whispered, "My son used to say, with a smile on his face, that the kindness you always display hides cruelty. No one is more hypocritical than you. Today, I have come to fully understand that a person who can sacrifice their own family members for power is capable of anything. You are the most dangerous person in all of Konoha, but don't worry, revenge will be exacted, either here or on the battlefield. Just you wait." With that, Takoma left with his subordinates, leaving only the investigating team behind to scour the prison. Deep down, everyone knew that nothing would be found. Thunder breathing first form, Godspeed. A streak of blue light shot through the forest, obliterating everything in its path. The surrounding trees toppled to the ground, their crash accompanied by the sound of a sword being sheathed. Uchiha Karen stood, slightly panting, his grip firm on his sword. He muttered to himself, I have finally mastered Godspeed. Now, only a select few can match my speed, and as my strength grows, the speed of Godspeed will increase even further. At that moment Amiko arrived, breathing heavily, and beheld the devastation caused by Karen's technique. She was amazed by Uchiha Karen's strength, wanting to shower him with praise. However, she hesitated, and Karen turned to look at her. He remarked, what's the matter? You seem conflicted about something. In the past, you wouldn't have been able to stop praising me. Master Karen, it's like this. Amiko began, recounting all the information she had received from Konoha and detailing everything that had transpired from beginning to end. The atmosphere around Karen shifted, his face taking on a somber expression. His Sharingan activated, spinning rapidly as if on the verge of evolution. Yet, it remained at its 3-tomo stage, failing to progress to Mangekyo. Uchiha Karen closed his eyes in sorrow, for the fallen elite Jonin was no ordinary person. It was none other than his father's best friend Uchiha Takoma, and Takoma's most trusted and first subordinate Uchiha Takashi. Takashi had guided Karen in countless ways, and had loved him as a son, considering Takashi himself childless. Opening his eyes, Karen spoke with reddened eyes. The plan needs to be changed. There is a dog among the Chunin, isn't there? Could you please go and bring him to me? I have a strong desire to meet him, said Karen, his face displaying a chilling coldness. Yes, certainly. Amiko promptly responded before swiftly disappearing from the location. Within a matter of minutes, the Uchiha Chunin arrived with Amiko by his side. So you're the dog that Hiruzen has assigned, correct? Karen inquired with an icy countenance. Leader, I'm sorry, but I failed to comprehend your statement, the Chunin replied, wiping the imaginary sweat off his face. I meant exactly what I said. Now, divulge to me every detail of Hiruzen's orders, Karen demanded, his Sharingan activated. As Karen's words resonated, the Chunin's countenance transformed, and he began revealing everything like a parrot, concealing nothing. The information provided by the ninja aligned with Karen's expectations. However, one surprising aspect was revealed. These Hiruzen spies possessed a unique sealing code to inform members of the Sarutobi clan and other allies that they were working under Sarutobi Hiruzen. Hiruzen, oh Hiruzen, you have made my task significantly easier, Karen mumbled to himself. He then turned his gaze towards Amiko and instructed, ensure his survival, as we will require him for our next plan. Yes, understood. Amiko acknowledged Karen's order with fervor, swiftly incapacitating the Chunin and dragging him away from the scene. For the next 2 days, everything was calm as if nothing had happened. The spies of Hiruzen also remained quiet, as 2 of them had gone missing within a few days. This made them alert and cautious. On the morning of the 3rd day, all Uchiha ninjas gathered at a designated location. Within a few minutes, Karen arrived with his subordinates and positioned himself on a raised platform to ensure visibility for everyone, while also allowing him to observe all the ninjas. Now that everyone has rested, it is time for us to take action and seek revenge for the long-awaited justice, said Karen, his gaze fixed upon the surviving Uchiha clan ninjas, who eagerly awaited further orders. I understand that many of you have mixed opinions about our course of action. Therefore, I offer you a chance to opt out and leave for the battlefield camp, which has been established by the Sarutobi clan and others, said Karen. However, upon hearing his words, some hesitated and did not make a move. Seeing this, Karen said, I warn you, what we are about to do is dangerous and requires unwavering determination for revenge. If any of you hesitate or have doubts after reaching the battlefield, I will personally kill you. So, once again, anyone who has doubts and lacks the necessary resolve should leave on their own. Finally, one ninja stepped forward, and as one ninja took the initiative, others also gained the resolve and stepped forward. In total, 30 ninjas came forward, including 1 Jonin, 15 Chunin, and the remaining Genin. This group primarily consisted of members from the Do faction and spies from Hiruzen. Karen nodded expressionlessly and gestured toward Aiko. Aiko nodded in response and approached the only Jonin in the group of 30. While handing over the scroll, Aiko said, this scroll contains the safest route determined through our investigation. You must follow this route to reach the Konoha camp. The Jonin nodded and accepted the scroll from Aiko, then said, thank you. Aiko nodded in response and emphasized, it is your responsibility to ensure that these ninjas safely reach the camp. The Uchiha Jonin acknowledged the statement with a nod and departed from the Uchiha clan camp alongside the team. As they left, Karen's eyes maintained their coldness, and he watched their retreating figures with icy determination. Karen remained silent for a few minutes before speaking again. I have no use for individuals who, even after the loss of their own family members, can utter, no, we should not fight. It will cause great losses to Konoha, especially when directed towards those responsible for this tragedy. We are well aware that such people are cowards and unworthy of being part of our family. Karen's voice dripped with coldness. Now, I will unveil the true plan upon which we shall act. The plan is simple. We will entice ninjas from both the Sarutobi clan and Kurigaka, eliminating them in one fell swoop. The task of luring them will be assigned to the 30 ninjas from our own clan who recently departed, sparing them from direct combat, explained Karen. As soon as Karen's words settled, the faces of the remaining Uchiha clan ninjas underwent a drastic change. They were overcome with horror at the cruelty displayed by Uchiha Karen. Such a course of action was unexpected. Unfazed by their reaction, Karen's expression remained unchanged as he continued, "You may perceive my actions as cruel, and you are right to do so. However, in my eyes, individuals like them are a disease to our Uchiha clan. It is due to people like them that we lack a unified voice, resulting in internal conflicts, rather than directing our efforts against our true adversaries. The meeting concludes here, and we shall depart within a few minutes. Are there any questions?" Karen asked. "No." Every Uchiha clan ninja replied in unison. After witnessing the extent of Uchiha Karen's cruelty, no one dared to raise any further inquiries. Karen then departed, and with his departure, all the Uchiha ninjas also left as they needed to move swiftly. Karen proceeded to a secluded location, where he gathered with his subordinates, and asked, "Did you send that Chunin?" "Yes, Master Karen. After you controlled him through the Sharingan, he became like a puppet. Hiroshi is monitoring him for his safety, and Nakamura and Mitsuda will join him, ensuring his demise once he completes his task," Emiko replied. Karen nodded upon hearing Emiko's words, and then inquired, "What about those Jonins? Are they showing any signs of hesitation?" "No, Master Karen. Coincidentally, they were trained by Takashi, an elite Jonin. Upon learning about what happened to Takashi, they were furious, and I believe they will give their utmost effort in our endeavor," Aiko reported. "Prepare yourselves, we will depart immediately," Karen commanded. Within 15 minutes, everyone was prepared and ready to embark on the journey to the battlefield. Inside the camp of Konoha, within the tent of the army chief, Sarutobi Shinosuke sat on the main seat, surrounded by representatives from other families. Those wretched Uchiha clan members not only managed to survive, but also repelled the army of Kurigaka, resulting in the loss of our family members, expressed a Jonin from the Uchiha clan. Not only that, they haven't even arrived at the camp yet, and seem to be avoiding their responsibilities, added a member of the Mitakado family. Uncle is correct about the Uchiha clan. To maintain peace in the village of Konoha, they should be eradicated, spoke one of the Shimura clan ninjas, who, upon careful observation, bore a striking resemblance to Danzo. Enough. Uchiha clan members are still part of Konoha. While it's true that some have strayed from the will of fire, it is our duty to guide them back onto the right path, Shinosuke stated firmly. Suddenly, a commotion arose outside the camp. Shinosuke instructed one of the Jonins, "Go and investigate the situation." The Jonin nodded and went outside to investigate. After a few minutes, he returned with the body of a ninja, dressed in Uchiha attire. Shinosuke appeared puzzled and turned to the Jonin, seeking an explanation. The Jonin spoke, "A short while ago, this ninja arrived at the camp and informed us that a small team from the Uchiha clan, consisting of 2 Jonins, was intercepted by a group of 10 Jonins from Kurigaka. The enemy forces numbered around 200. The Uchiha team was overwhelmed, and the fallen ninja's teammates sacrificed themselves to buy him time to escape. Meanwhile, the remaining Uchiha clan members, led by Uchiha Karen, launched an attack on the rear of the Kurigaka camp. Their intent was to seek revenge and provoke an active response from the enemy, thus continuing their vengeance and establishing a reputation on the battlefield. "What?" Shinosuke exclaimed, rising from his seat. "Have they lost their minds? What do they hope to achieve? This will only escalate the war, leading to unnecessary casualties. Why would they act in such a manner in the first place?" Shinosuke questioned, expressing his confusion. Before dying, he made 2 seals like this, the Jonin stated, revealing the seals created by the Uchiha ninja before his demise. Several knowledgeable Jonins, familiar with the seal, stood up and confirmed, "It appears that what the Uchiha ninja said is indeed true." Shinosuke also nodded in agreement upon examining the seals. "But how did he die?" Shinosuke inquired. "He was killed from a distance by someone utilizing water ninjutsu," replied the Jonin. "It seems that someone must have pursued him all the way to our Konoha camp. But what else can you expect from assassin lunatics?" Shinosuke remarked. With determination in his eyes, Shinosuke realized that the time had come to achieve meritorious service and establish his own identity, rather than being known solely as the Hokage's son. "Immediately gather an army of 400 ninjas. I will personally lead this force to rescue our comrades from Kurigaka," declared Shinosuke. While it was evident that Shinosuke had self-serving motives behind his decision, they were still allies, and as the chief of the army, his orders were to be obeyed without question. With the team of ninjas assembled, they were prepared to rescue the Uchiha clan members. Meanwhile, in Kurigaka, a tip was received from their spy, revealing that a group of 30 ninjas from the Uchiha clan was heading towards the Konoha camp. Additionally, the remaining Uchiha clan members were attacking the rear of Kurigaka, led by Uchiha Karen and his elite subordinates. Upon receiving this information, Yagura, the chief of Kurigaka, ordered an investigation. They were able to confirm the movement of the Uchiha clan's 30 ninja team towards the Konoha camp. Yugura promptly instructed Jinpachi Minashi to lead 300 ninjas to eliminate the Uchiha clan members. This decision was made to ensure the elimination of the Uchiha clan without any complications. Furthermore, even if the Konoha camp became alerted, the 300 ninjas would be able to retreat easily. And that concludes the first episode. If you enjoyed it, I'd seriously love it if you guys could leave a like on the video, as it genuinely helps out so much, and it keeps me going, plus it takes only 1 second. That said, have a wonderful day. God bless.